Drop a glass on the floor and you expect it to shatter. You never expect those scattered fragments to spontaneously jump back together and form a perfect cup. We experience time moving entirely in one direction, from cause to effect, locked into a strict forward sequence. Standard physics codifies this one-way street with the concept of entropy. Entropy is the built-in tendency of all closed systems to move from a state of high order to a state of complete disorder. Without adding external energy, things break down, cool off, and decay. If we project that continuous loss of order to its absolute limit, we arrive at the heat death of the universe. Eventually, stars will exhaust their fuel, galaxies will drift apart, and all remaining energy will dissipate until existence simply fades to black. This fatalistic calculation forms the baseline for modern cosmology. But the math behind this final freezing end state relies on a massive assumption that our instruments are actually capturing the total sum of reality. The dread of an inevitable cosmic breakdown is entirely based on tracking the behavior of visible matter. If there are forces operating outside of that visible spectrum, our models of the universe's ultimate fate contain a massive blind spot. This animated pie chart maps out the known mass-energy composition of the universe. Every galaxy, star, planet, and biological organism we can observe makes up barely 5% of the total cosmic structure. The remaining 95% belongs to dark matter and dark energy. These are invisible entities, vast structural components of reality that exert intense gravitational pulls and drive the expansion of space, yet completely evade our standard methods of detection. We have extrapolated the final destiny of the cosmos and the unidirectional flow of time itself using only a tiny fraction of the material actually present in the universe. If we are only tracking the visible 5%, standard thermodynamics might not be a universal law dictating the end of all things. It might simply be a localized illusion. To understand why we see a decaying universe, we must look back to its origin point. In its earliest moments, the cosmos existed in a state of absolute physical and temporal symmetry. But a sudden, violent event called symmetry breaking tipped the scales. This imbalance caused standard matter to permanently dominate antimatter. The Way of P argues this locked all surviving matter onto the forward arrow of time, forever pushing it in a single direction. Because human beings are built from that exact same surviving matter, our biology inherited that trajectory. Our physical brains and the consciousness they generate were strictly hardwired within this forward orientation. This physical wiring heavily restricts our everyday perception. It is the specific reason we can cleanly remember the events of yesterday, but can only guess at what will happen tomorrow. The unyielding forward march of time feels absolute because it governs our biology. Yet this linear experience is a sensory limitation born from the universe's first imbalance, rather than an unbreakable rule governing all of existence. The Way of Poe proposes that the universe operates on a fundamental principle of symmetry. If the visible world is defined by its movement toward disorder, a balanced system implies the existence of an equal and opposite force to maintain cosmic equilibrium. This leads to the central hypothesis. The missing 95% of the universe, dark matter and dark energy, is oriented in reverse. It operates on an arrow of time, moving in the exact opposite direction of our own. In a realm operating in reverse, the physical rules flip. Chaotic, disparate elements spontaneously organize themselves into highly complex, structured formations, actively decreasing entropy. While our visible sliver of reality steadily burns through its energy and degrades into disorder, the massive hidden sector of the dark universe is simultaneously cultivating order and unwinding chaos. This creates a multidimensional temporal landscape. Creation and dissolution are occurring at the exact same moment, balancing each other out and suggesting a cosmos that is perpetually renewed rather than one heading toward a final end. This framework of symmetric thermodynamics establishes the universe as a self-sustaining ecosystem. It is a balanced state where every instance of decay is matched by a corresponding instance of creation. This diagram illustrates how the forces stabilize each other. The jagged downward pull of standard entropy is perfectly countered by an upward force called synergy, the drive toward complexification and organization. If dark matter handles the synergy on a cosmic scale, we have to ask what role the human observer plays within the visible realm we actually inhabit. The Way of Poe defines human consciousness as an active excitation of the quantum mind field, a force that permeates the material world rather than being a mere byproduct of it. When we organize information and build structures or solve complex problems, we are performing the physical work of reversing local entropy. These acts of creation use the quantum mind field to inject synergy into the material world, fostering the emergence of new, complex patterns. That conscious effort serves a mechanical purpose. It pushes back against the relentless tide of entropy directly within our visible environment. This positioning views humanity as the active agent tasked with sustaining the eternal dynamic equilibrium of the cosmos.